Hello friends, and welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Katie and I am a first year 4th grade teacher in the Chicago suburbs, and this is the K for Classroom. Alright, so at my school, this year school is only in session for 4 hours, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning and just ending at 1 p.m. I usually typically get to school like 45 minutes, like to an hour before school starts, just so I know that I have plenty of time to get ready and prepped for the day. So for this morning, I just came inside, I turn on one of the lights. I personally don't like the ugly fluorescent lights. I'm working on I want to get string lights to hang up on the ceiling at some point. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. So in the mornings, I just flip on one of the lights. But also I have 2 windows in my room, 2 big windows, and recently, even though it's really dreary most days, today was really sunny, so a lot of sun was shining through the windows, which was wonderful. So I just turned on one light, but I usually do that anyway. And then I just kind of get settled. I take off my coat, I take out my personal laptop, and I pull up the daily slides that I will be using for that day. So after I set up and pull up the daily slides for the day, I don't get started on looking through that until I have all my copies made. So a groove that I've gotten into doing is I set out the day before. I set out the copies that I'll need to make that morning. I have a drawer like right behind me that's on my desk that I just pull out the top drawer, and that's all the copies that I'll need. So I just grab those worksheets or whatever I need to copy out of my copy drawer, and I just head to the copy room. Made some copies this morning. I made some copies for social studies. I made some copies for math. So there are 15 kids in my class, so I made 15 copies of whatever I needed. And after that, I came back into the room and I kind of separated and organized my copies. Some of the stuff, or some of the copies that I made needed to be stapled, so I stapled whatever I needed to. And then I came over and looked at my schedule. So this is the schedule. I post it and I change it daily. So I take a look at this and I just go through the day. So the first thing in the morning is morning work, and there's no worksheets usually for morning work. All the stuff that they usually do is just on their Chromebooks already, which they have to bring to school every day. For morning work, I can share how I made this. It was inspired by somebody on TPT, so it wasn't my idea completely. But I have them fill out, I call it a daily check-in form. It's just a Google form, and I created it, and I inserted a lot of my Bitmojis, but I basically just have them type their name and click on one Bitmoji that they're feeling that day, and I have just a lot of options for them. There's like frustrated, happy, worried, confident, etc., etc. So they can choose one feeling that they're feeling that morning, and then also I ask them, there's a separate question on the Google form to say, you know, if you're feeling a negative emotion, would you tell me why? I'm here to help. And then there's other things, like fun things. Is there anything that you want to tell me? And then, especially during Christmas time, a lot of them had elves on the shelf. So a lot of them like typed to me like, oh my gosh, my elf on the shelf was here this morning and he was so funny, or something like that. So it's a time for them to kind of just tell me some things that are happening at home. It's proved to be really useful. And then during the afternoon, when I have a little bit of a break, I check on that and I look at the responses just so I can check in with whoever I need to. So they do the daily check-in in the morning. After they fill that out and submit it to me, they go on a math fact fluency website called Extra Math. I do 1 round of multiplication fast facts just so they can keep those going. And then right after that, they go on a website called Typing Club that has just free typing lessons until the bell rings. And then once the bell rings, everybody knows at this point to close the tab that they are on and close their Chromebooks and get ready for the announcements. We listen to the announcements, and then I read the lunch for the day and the breakfast for the day. I take that count, I write it down, I do attendance really quick, I submit that, and then after that we head into our morning meeting, which is one of my favorite parts of the day personally. All right, so we have a lot on the docket for our morning meeting to get started. So I'm gonna get right into it. We have just it's going to feel kind of like a regular day. I have 5 Friday funnies for me to stump you on today.
Hopefully.
Let me look through them. A lot of them Most of them are a play on words.
Oh, we struggle with these.
So think about that. That's my one clue for all of them. All right, so after that, well, that's at the end. I jumped ahead. I have an announcement and an addition to the Caper Shop that I didn't have enough time to add it to the menu, so I thought I'd just tell you, and I'll just put a sticky note on it for now before I add it for real. Oakley got the zoomies for 2 minutes straight yesterday, and I ran to my phone and I took 3 videos of him. So I have those to show you of him just running. At one point, he had so much do you know the word momentum?
Yeah.
Where sometimes if you're running so fast and then you try to stop all of a sudden, your body tries to lurch forward because it has so much energy going. Yeah, that happened to Oakley, but he ran into the fireplace a lot. Don't worry, it was not going. There wasn't fire in the fireplace. So that's the Oakley videos, and then I have 5 Friday Funnies for us. It's gonna feel kind of like another review. We're not gonna work on discs for division today. We're just gonna focus on that standard algorithm. That's all we're gonna do. I think it's depending on how we feel, honestly. You're gonna have to tell me how you're feeling and how confident you're feeling about the standard algorithm. Because I built into the smartboard 9 problems, just in case we needed more. But maybe not. Maybe we don't need 9 problems to do together. You'll just have to let me know how you're feeling. Okay, so that's gonna be math. Once we come back inside, it's going to be kind of a writer's workshop again. I think everybody's typing right now, right? For the most part, yeah. Everybody's typing. We're going to have still that whole day to type. So if you're done with your expository essay today, you're going to have the writing time to create and illustrate the cover of your book.
So on our Chromebook, since mine is dogs, could I look up drawing for dogs?
Yeah, you guys are great with that. I'll explain this more once we get to writing time, but by all means, you have your Chromebooks ready. You don't have to just draw a Fortnite scene by memory. You don't have to draw a Fortnite character by memory. I see you guys pulling out your Chromebooks and pulling up a picture of something you want to draw. By all means, use your resource, use your Chromebook, because we want the illustrations to be really, really good and our very best work, because they're going to be on display for everyone to see in the class and for everyone who comes in our classroom during the day. So definitely use your Chromebooks. Good question. So that's going to be writing. Since it's Friday, we're going to go to the multi-purpose room for PE. Once we come back inside, we're going to switch into reading time. We're going to be reading chapters 4 and 5 of Miss Agnes. I'm going to give us some new job assignments for our next book club meeting, which is going to be on Monday. And then right after that, we're going to head straight into social studies. We're going to finish off, because we didn't finish a few questions from the executive branch questions yesterday. We're going to finish those together. And then we're going to read all about the legislative branch. What's the legislative branch's job? We learned yesterday all about the executive branch and how they carry out the laws. So what's the legislative branch's job?
To make the law.
Yeah, they create the laws. So we're going to learn all about them, and that'll be the end of our fantastic Friday. Do you have questions about the school day before I go to give my announcement?
It has to be a full chapter, not
I
half
will,
one.
don't you worry. I've made enough time to read a whole chapter of this book. Don't you worry your mouth.
What's the book called?
Stick Dog.
Stick Dog. I've never read that before.
Okay, Caper Shop announcement. Everybody give me a drum roll. This out. Okay, so for 50 Caper Cash,
What?
you can be the DJ for the day.
I knew that.
But what do you think my expectation is going to be? Thinking about where we are, thinking about who could walk in. What do you think I'm going to say? Read my mind about the DJ for the day.
School appropriate.
School appropriate. So no language, nothing no violence, no mean songs, just kind of like the songs that we usually play in here. But if you like country music, if you like hip-hop music, if you like pop music, and you want to be the DJ for the day, you can pay me 50 Caper Cash, and then that next day of school after you pay me, you're going to be the DJ for the day. This is the Caper Shop right now. Well, that's in the way here. This is I call it the menu. right now, but I created this. I just came up with the costs myself. I recently have had a sale. Then they tried to guess the answers to the Friday funnies that I have. I give 5 of them on Fridays. And then we headed into math. So in math, we just ended multiplication, and we just had a multiplication test earlier this week, and we have flipped into division. And so today was just a review of just the standard algorithm of division. I pass a problem set out to each of my kids, and then I also project them and copy them onto my daily slides. So they follow along on their problem set while I lead them through the same exact problems on the smartboard. So that kind of is like a whole group lesson. And then the way Zern works is that after the whole group lesson, they know to log on to their Zern accounts on their Chromebooks. And then there's an independent lesson where it kind of reviews what we just went over together as a whole class. And then it's just an independent lesson from there. And then they are to do an exit ticket, which is just usually 1 or 2 questions. And then there's a choice board to do if they get done early for math. So then with this year being 100% in person, Monday through Friday, 4 hours a day, there are 2 breaks that we are to take at school, or I guess we don't have to, but I like to get them outside to breathe the fresh air since we're wearing masks. So right after math, they know that once the timer goes off, they know that's the end of math independent work time. So they all head to the bathroom. I follow them. I have a door right next to my classroom, which is really nice. So they just exit through this door, and the playground is like right there. So this year they're not allowed to play on the playground, but they are allowed to just run around and play as long as they're 6 feet apart. So I just do my best to roam around where everybody's playing, make sure to enforce the 6 feet rule. Once we all come in, take a breather, feel like we're defrosting a little bit from being outside in the super, super cold, we transition into writing time. So we have been, for the past couple weeks, I actually think since we've been back from winter break, we've been working on an expository essay, which has been really fun. They've picked a topic that they think they're experts in, they've done some research, they've done some writing, we just finished planning, and today a lot of them have finished typing out their essays and have turned them in through Google Classroom. So knowing that everybody is kind of in a different spot, I didn't want people who were already done typing their essays to just be sitting there for 20 minutes. So I found on TPT, I'll link it down below, but I found on TPT just a template for just a regular book cover. So I just had them write the title, which was, everybody's was all about, mine, like my model that I use was all about teaching. I know some kids in here wrote all about guinea pigs or all about movies. So all their titles started with all about, and then they just filled in the blank for whatever their subject of their essay was. And then I just, I showed them that, like, where to write their name, that they're the author, and then I showed them and I talked to them all about my expectations for their illustrations. If you're sitting, awesome. Please just put away math stuff for now. We'll come back to it later. Clean up your area. Woo! Get ready for writing. So take out that writing packet and a pencil. All right, so I'm passing out a title page or a cover page to everybody right now, so just make sure that everybody gets one. All right, so Chromebook shouldn't be open yet. I'm going to be giving directions for writing time before I put the timer on. Let me show you just basically what I expect on your cover page. So I'm expecting them to be really neat, really nice, and to have color. So everybody's title is going to start with all about. All about.
And then like whatever you wrote.
Yeah, and then so yours would be ninja. I know some people like
Baseball.
somebody's talking about baseball, guinea pigs, Fortnite. I'm going to write all about teaching since that was my topic. And then down at the bottom, I'm the author, so I'm just going to write my name really neatly at the bottom. Yes, you may use cursive if you would like. In the middle here, there's a big old space. What goes in the middle there?
Your illustration.
Your illustration. And if some of you forgot what we talked about this morning, yes, you can pull out your Chromebooks and you can pull out one of your favorite Fortnite characters to look off of for your illustration. You don't have to do it all off of your mind. I want this to be a great, neat, awesome, colorful cover page because they're going to be displayed on that bulletin board back there.
Is this like all of the space that we're gonna get to draw, or like would we get like an extra piece of paper? Because my picture, I'll need a bit more space to draw.
Well, that's the challenge. It's only going to be in the space given. So there's not going to be any extra pages given for your illustration. First off, we're just trying to get done, turn in our expository essay, because whatever we don't get done typing today is going to be our responsibility over the weekend. Because then I'm expecting all of the expository essays to be turned in on Monday. So when is the expository essay due? Monday. If you get done with, if you click turn in today during writing, then you're going to head onto the cover page. What am I expecting of the cover page again, before I let us go?
Neat.
Neat.
Handwriting.
Neat handwriting, yeah.
Detail.
Detail and
Creative.
creative and another colorful. Awesome. Questions about this writing time before I put on a timer and some music?
How much time do we have?
We have about 20 minutes until PE. Until PE.
Okay. Remember to substitute consonant to write about This is the geography.
This is where the expository essays are going to be hung after they get turned in. And then since writing is so independent, this is when I usually put on some type of music. They really have been liking Disney music lately, and I'm not complaining. I like my Disney music too. So I just put on some music and I let them go. Once that timer went off, the students knew, following along with the schedule, that since it's Friday, it's a PE day. Now this year is totally different with specials. Specials are kind of used this year as kind of more of a break for teachers. So the kids, since they usually go outside for PE when it's warm, but since it's 12 degrees in Illinois, they head to the multi-purpose room. And then I just stayed back here and I looked at their daily check-in responses and I wrote down notes of who I needed to check in with and talk to. And then I just kind of chilled out. I drank some water, went to the bathroom, all that good stuff. Just got myself good and settled and ready to go for the afternoon. Once everybody came back to their seats, I had everybody put everything from writing away, and if they still had stuff out for math in the morning, I had them put that away too, clear their area, and then I had them take out their book club folder and then the book club book that we're reading, which is called The Year of Miss Agnes. And then we just read through that together. We read 2 chapters. I have everybody read, today I had them each read two paragraphs, and then I just finished off the chapter. And then I assigned them, I made a slide on my Google Slides on the smartboard. I projected it so they were able to see what their jobs were next time we meet in their book club groups. And then they were kind of off to work. So I set a timer for that reading book club work time as well. Again, there were about 10 minutes of that. And then following that schedule again, after that timer went off, we switched to a Zern work time. So the kids took out their Zern workbooks again, and then they logged into Zern just like they did in the morning. And I like to give them some extra time to work on Zern at school, just in case they have questions for me or things like that. And I just also want to give them time to do as much as they can in school, just so I can really check in with them and see how they're doing. So I like to give them about 15-20 minutes to work on Zern and for them to ask any questions if they have any for me. And again, I just put that up on the timer and they just go. And so after the timer goes off for Zern work time, we go out and we bundle up. Well, first we go to the bathroom actually, and then we bundle up again and we head outside for a second mask break. In an effort to try to make everybody excited about the classroom library, I've implemented first chapter Fridays and Friday afternoons. So I put the title up of the chapter of the book I was going to read on the smartboard today. I don't remember. I read the first chapter of Stick Dog Wants a Hot Dog. I think that's the title of it. And there's always a couple kids who are like, what? Like, that's not fair. Like, can you read more? And I'm always like, like, this is what I want you to respond like. And so I'm like, no, like, I'm not reading anymore. But if you want to know what's to come, like, maybe you can check it out from our library. But that's always really fun. I get at least some of them hyped. Some of them, I know not everybody's a reader, but I try to just get everybody as hyped as I possibly can. And then it was social studies. So we have been going through a government unit. So we just got done reading yesterday about the legislative branch. We read like a passage about it, about the different sections of the legislative branch. And then today we flipped to the executive branch. So we learned all about, you know, the different sections of that, their jobs, and we answered some questions, just some comprehension questions that are going to be on their content test soon. Social studies usually lasts until around 12:40-ish, 12:45 at the latest, because then I have a separate slide up on the smartboard where I just put up their different assignments for the day. So at this point, they know that social studies is done, and they take out their assignment notebooks, flip it. Today was January 22nd, so they flipped up to that day in their assignment notebooks, and they just copied down the assignments that they needed to be responsible for this weekend. And then we go into our pack up, clean up afternoon rhythm that we've established. So they know that after they fill out their assignment notebook, each of them have, I won't show the name, but they each have just one of these mini journals. I just got them on Amazon. If I can find the link, I will link that too. But after they fill out their assignment notebook, they know to take out their gratitude journal. I call this their gratitude journal. And they know to fill out the journal. They write the day, the month, and the year, and then they know to write down at least 3 things that they're thankful for in their gratitude journal. And then they're good to pack up. So they just grab their belongings, make sure to check their mail, all that good stuff. I pass out the lunches and breakfast that they ordered this morning to whoever ordered them. And then I just kind of let them go. That usually takes like 3 to 5 minutes, but they're 4th grade and they move pretty fast. I'm not used to that. But after most of them are sitting down, I make an announcement that I'm going to start reading our read aloud in about 1 minute. And then they all know to just keep packing up and to kind of pick up the pace if they're still packing up. And then I read aloud. Right now I'm reading, I think this was, it's a blue stem. I just checked it out from our school library. It's a whole new ball game, a Rip and Bread book. They really liked it. It's a really sweet one. I read as much as I can before the bell rings, and then at this point, they know, like if I'm in the middle of a sentence and the bell rings, they know to wait until I finish the sentence. But they know for me to finish the sentence, and then they can go. And then just like I said earlier, they just exit through this door, which is really, really nice. There's no walking through the hallways or worrying about that. So they just exit through the door, and then that was the end of our day. Okay, so that's usually how my days go here. I have loved being in 4th grade. I love how independent they are. It just has made the days go by so much more smoothly. They're so independent. I'm not used to just giving directions once or twice and they just do it. I'm not over that yet. So the days just go by so fast since they're only 4 hours with breaks in between too. That's my typical day at school this year. But if you did like this video, go ahead. It would mean a lot to me if you just gave it a thumbs up. And even if you commented, especially if I haven't met you yet. I would love to talk with you and get to know you a little bit better. But thanks for watching. This was a day in my life as a 4th grade teacher. Bye, guys.